Okay, so we're going to talk about what's called the rectangular coordinate system. It's also called the Cartesian coordinate system. It's named after a French mathematician, René Descartes. And we use it for graphing purposes. So you can buy graph paper. You can go online and get, just type in graph paper and there'll be grids that come up and stuff, or you can draw them by hand. But we're graphing in a two-dimensional plane. So a plane meaning a flat surface. Okay, so in this case, we have one axis. Hopefully you can see it's a little bit darker. One axis going horizontally, and that's called the x-axis. And then one axis going vertically, and that's called the y-axis. Now, you could have other axes labeled differently, like in business, they might label the axis profit and month or something like that. But we're talking specifically about what's called the rectangular or Cartesian coordinate system, and this is how we label things. So these two axes, they divide the plane, the flat paper, into four what are called quadrants. I think I have that word on the paper someplace. And this is how the quadrants go. We label them with Roman numerals. This is quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2. This is quadrant 3. And this is quadrant 4. Okay? So sometimes they'll say, oh, what point does, what quadrant does this point lie in, or something like that. Okay. Right here, where the two axes cross, that is called the origin. And I have a few grids here so I can stop filling that grid up. Okay, for the axes, the horizontal axis, the x-axis, is like a number line. And so you're counting 0, 1, 2, 3. You're counting on those lines. And then in the other direction, -1, -2, -3. A lot of times I don't draw the numbers in because they kind of mess up my grid. It's hard to see what's going on. But that's how we'll be counting it when we go to use it. Now for the vertical axis, up is positive, 1, 2, 3. And then down is negative, -1, -2, -3. And of course you can have a different scale for your axis. I'm just saying that each, in my case, each line is representing a unit of 1. Okay? And then what we want to do is be able to graph what are called ordered pairs. So an ordered pair goes like this, parenthesis, and then we'll have a number, let's say -2, comma, and then a 1. And it's called an ordered pair because it makes a difference if you have -2, 1, or if I'll have another ordered pair here, 1, -2. So we'll graph both of these and we'll show you how to do this. Okay, so the first one, -2, so you move on the x-axis first, so horizontally first, so go -2 and then up 1. And I'm drawing a dot there, and my notepad does these weird things when I try to draw a dot. But that would be the point, pretend like it's round, that would be the point -2, 1. Now, if I wanted to draw the other one, or graph it, I'm graphing points here, or I'm graphing ordered pairs. So an ordered pair is a point on the grid. Okay, so if I want to go 1, -2, that would be right there. Okay, so I have 1 point there, and the green point is in the 4th quadrant, and the orange point is in the 2nd quadrant, if anybody were to ask. Okay. Now, I could have a point like, different color here, like 7, 0. If I were to graph that point, I would go 7 on the horizontal axis, and then I'd be right on the x-axis. I wouldn't go up or down any because of this 0 for the y. So the first one's x, the second one's y. The first component, or it's called the abscissa, is the x value, and the ordinate is the y value. Okay, so 7, 0 would be right there on the x-axis. Now you might ask, well, what if they ask me what quadrant is it in? you would say it's not in a quadrant, it's on the x-axis, or we say it lies on the x-axis. Okay, so I think I covered all these terms. The horizontal axis is the x-axis, the vertical axis is the y-axis. So horizontally this way, and then, well, now I've got to erase my line. Vertical this way, okay? Then it makes 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the origin, that's where they cross, right? There's the origin. And ordered pairs, that's what we're graphing. So an ordered pair has parentheses and then numbers the first component and then the second component. And they could both be positive, they could be positive and negative, and you can do all kinds of things like that. We'll show you some examples in the next